Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you so much for joining us with Get Creative with JHC Plus Friends. I am one of your hosts who will be taking your questions and comments throughout this live stream, joined here by none other than Julia Holly with JH Creative. Hey, Julia.
Hey, Christy. Hi, so everyone. Thank you for joining us. Yes.
And we've got a great guest here today, which is Missy Gunnels Kane. And so I'm super excited to learn more about your story. But Julia, tell us a little bit about what you do with JH Creative.
Thank you, Christy. I am, for those of you who are hopping on, thank you for joining us. And thank you, Missy, for taking the time to do this. I'm so glad you can join us. For those of you who don't know me, I am Julia Holly, owner and designer for JH Creative. I've been a designer for 14 plus years, and I've been running my business now for about 7 plus years now. Just providing services to small businesses with a focus on local businesses, including Missy. And I really appreciate how she's been so supportive for so many years, almost 4 or 5 years, I believe. So I wanted to invite her as a guest to be on the show because she is really a creative entrepreneur. She's been running her business now for 25 plus years, providing high-end quality floral services for weddings, for big events, really. She can handle all kinds of events from small to large, and in recent years now focusing on larger events. But of course, with the pandemic and everything happening earlier this year, she had to make adjustments really quick, and she managed to do so. And so we wanted to talk about that today. So Missy, I want to hand it off to you and just so I wanted to hear your story in, however you would like to cover it, of how you started in your business.
Oh, from the very, very beginning, right? Not just the pandemic. Okay. Well, I come from a long line of family members that were florists. My grandmother lived over by Lafayette Park, and she did a lot of flowers way back when in the 50s and 60s. She did a lot of Leon High School proms and things like that. And I would walk home from school from Kate Sullivan to her house. And so anyway, they would put me to work, my mother and my grandmother. And so I learned early on the things you need to do. And then I went to FSU. I was an art major, and I thought I would go into advertising and that kind of thing. I ended up with a career with mercantile stores doing interior point of purchase and visual displays, and traveled throughout the Southeast. And then that company sold to Dillard's, and I launched this company. And so started in my garage, grassroots, and word got around after beating the pavement to different venues and wedding coordinators and anybody in the business, kind of putting myself out there. It paid off, and the internet was booming, starting to boom then. So that was a great vehicle to, I just kind of made my own little website at that point with some template that was not great, but it got me out there. And then I met Julia. I can't remember how we met.
Yeah, I believe through Kristen, owner of the cells.
Yes. Yeah, okay. And so, yeah, you put together a wonderful website, and, it was a great place to connect with clients. And it's just so amazing that compared to the old days of a telephone book, which, is a dinosaur, and people don't even know we had landline phones and telephone books. My husband still wants to look somebody up in the phone book, and I keep telling him no. But anyway, the internet makes it so easy, and to just keep posting and able to put the new ideas out there. And our work from last weekend, and things have just built, and tagging people and connecting that way. And then, of course, with Instagram and Facebook, just wonderful vehicles to be able to move your business versus newspaper ads, which, cost so much and always have. And you never know if people see them or not.
Right.
So I'm really appreciative of being able to build a business because of the internet and not having to have a storefront where you have to have people riding by and seeing you, being on the main street in town. I like being able to close when I'm closed, and we're not a walk-in shop, we're by appointment, so it works great with a schedule. Of course, you work a lot of long hours when you have your own business, so you have that freedom. However, but at any rate, with the virus hitting, we entered into March with a wonderful schedule and wonderful large weddings at lots of venues, Pebble Hill and South Eden and the Ball House at Southwood and Loblolly and Goodwood Plantation, lots of really great plans. And then they closed us down, and all the flowers were already here for that week for 3 different weddings. So we had a lot of live merchandise that needed to be moved, and we were not doing daily deliveries. So we did a quick pivot and got it out there on Facebook that we had all these flowers, and the community just supported us and came and paid for them and picked them up and saved the day. There's a lot of fresh flowers in the world got bulldozed and burned, and it was a real sad thing to watch. All of people, it's not just me, it's the growers and the pickers and the packers in South America and Holland and all over the place. So it's just take a huge bite out of lives. So to counteract our losses, we have a little shopping website, and we came up with some pieces that we like to do, and it's not a wide array, but it's an assortment, and it's worked out really well. And people can get on the little link and just pick out what they want and process it through with a credit card on PayPal. And it's worked great for me because I don't have to deal with the security of the credit cards and be in charge of all that. That's another level of charging. I do take charge cards, but I'm in a kind of a basic level where I can take it for payment on weddings, and I don't have to have the big security issues that other companies have. So this vehicle has helped me do that. So in the picture, you'll see Ellie, my daughter, there.
Right here, right? Yeah.
And she also went to FSU in the art department. And then my cousin Polly is in the tank top.
Yes.
And, so that's our basic team. And it's a family affair. We all have it in our genes. So we enjoy creating and the challenges, and it's very physical, and we like that too.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm so glad you've been able to adjust and using social media to help spread the word. And I noticed that your team is so great about being active on Instagram and Facebook. You guys do a great job with posting and it's great that every business especially should be educated on how to do it themselves. It saves you a lot of money. And the other thing too that's neat is that a lot of photographers also tag you. That's helpful too, right? They'll tag you and give you credit for.
I'm so appreciative of that. A lot of clients that are older, say somebody's mother or grandmother will say, well, can I come in and look at all your albums and books with pictures? And I was like, that we don't do that anymore. Everything's online. So, look at it when you want to. There's over 5,000 pictures on Facebook, and Instagram is a ton too. I haven't counted those, but with people tagging, it's so easy to keep it updated. And I try to explain to that client that the trends change so fast that you don't really want to do what I did 5 years ago. It's not 3 years ago. We've moved past that. There's a lot of great things to do. And so with the virus, people are still planning some weddings. And so what I ask them to do is look at our work and then go on Pinterest, which is another great vehicle, and find some things that they like. And we work virtually to put together a proposal for them for their wedding or their event. And they're still having them. They're just pared back on the guest list. So
Okay.
hopefully, I'm hopeful for spring that people will get back into the 200 and 400 people.
Yeah. No, hopefully things will have been figured out by then.
Because micro weddings are becoming a big thing.
Oh, no, it's
Oops,
okay.
sorry. Micro weddings. Julia, have you heard micro weddings are
Yeah,
becoming
I've
a big
noticed
thing?
that people are still having very, very small gathering weddings. I've heard of Zoom meetings too. Zoom weddings.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure I've done a Zoom wedding, but micro weddings, yes. And, I think that's good. I have a warehouse and a shop here, and that won't maintain it here.
Right.
One bridal bouquet a week is not gonna do it. Not gonna pay the bills. So, I'm really hopeful that places like Goodwood, they have a cap on the amount of people that they can have in there right now. Pebble Hill in Georgia seems to be a little more lenient. And but we like working at Goodwood. It's so close, and it's such a great closed ballroom or barn.
Yeah.
And they are only allowing 50 people inside there. So most of our weddings guest list are more 200 to 300 people. So with those 6 bridesmaids to 13 bridesmaids.
Yeah. Wow. And so, with the trends that happen, and I believe things hopefully will get back to the way things were, hopefully more safe than it was before. You mentioned to me in the past that you source a lot of your flowers from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
You have a great process in place, and you have vendors that you work with that are very reliable, and you get these flowers fresh, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're picked, harvested at the farms, packed, and they're probably, to look at on a weekly level, say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they're harvested and packed Thursday, Friday. They go out on trucks Sunday night, Monday night, and they leave out of Miami. So, they travel for the most part. The bulk of flowers travel from South America to Miami and on a plane, and then they get on the trucks that head up the coast.
Wow.
That's not to say I don't get some things from Holland, and that gets FedExed. And then one of the most exciting things that's developed a lot this year, and I think the pandemic has probably helped this type of business more than hurt, is the small farm growers. There seem to be a lot of younger people, couples throughout, depending on their climate, who are developing small flower farms, and they're shipping out some beautiful products, and it's a lot less wear and tear on the flowers. And so I've enjoyed contacting some of those people, and I have found them on Instagram.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I just send them a note, and they get back with me. And about half of them will send out. The rest do farmers markets.
Oh, wow.
Where you have to go. And, Tallahassee's not a very good place for growing flowers, but there are a few around here in Cairo and Monticello area that grow some flowers. We get too hot here, but Athens and up, just the climates. We've got a farm out of Philadelphia area and one out of Asheville, and just some beautiful things.
So then that's another neat thing that your team can do, is that you manage to keep the flowers fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Like you time it when they come in, and you put it together in a timely fashion, and then you have it ready for the wedding. That's a huge feat.
We have 2 big coolers, and so the flowers generally come on Tuesdays, and we process them. We have to unpack them, and they have to be recut to hydrate. And so they hydrate, and they get put in the cooler, and then we start processing into the arrangements and making the things and bouquets and things. So it's a lot of fun. It's always great to see it put together, but it's like overwhelming at first because they're all sitting in big pots of big buckets of water, and you're like, oh gosh, are these ever going to be anything? But yeah,
I'm sure they smell delightful.
And it does smell good.
Room.
Yep. And yesterday we got in scented geranium leaves out of that farm I was telling you about up toward Philadelphia, and they smell so good.
Wow. I'm wondering if Chrissy can also pull up my screen now so that we can see some of the examples of your weddings these are the featured weddings on your website. Just beautiful. Anybody who wants to look at this as a showcase for weddings, because I know on Instagram or Facebook, sometimes you might just see a single photo, but here she has albums of the weddings that are featured here. One of the things I didn't mention too is that she's had work published, right? You've been featured on, Style Me Pretty, The Knot. You've been featured on multiple publications, and you've also done really big events here in town. Like, didn't you? I'm sure you did something for the Tallahassee magazine. I remember. If you wanted to bring up some of the events that you've done, like the gala.
Well, we have always done Cards for a Cure with TMH on the cancer. We work with hospice a lot. We provide hospice arrangements with the flowers the day after the events, and we recycle them and get those over in vases for hospice to hand out. Done that for about 10 years. And we always work on the gala for the TMH Foundation, and that's at the Civic Center. We've done, work with Tallahassee Women Magazine, and we try to give back to the community as best we can, and keeping in mind that we're trying to run the business as well. So,
right.
Anyway, I think giving back is very important.
Yes.
But it does have to fit in. There was a time when I was first beginning that I had way more donation and giving than I did in business, and it wasn't making a living. So I had to kind of change that plan a little bit.
I've done that myself too.
Yeah. It's like,
because we're just that's the nature of an entrepreneur. We're doers. We like to help people, and we like to give to people too. And so we have to figure out that balance too. That, at least for me personally, I know that I'm not I don't have a strength in managing my finances very much, but so that's why I look to professionals to help me with that.
Well, I think it's really important to support the community that has supported you, because I'm just so thankful for everybody that has, through the years and the beginning years and still, that give me the opportunity to create and to provide for them. So it's just a blessing, and I think that's a good thing to try to bless some others too.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and try to play just a short few seconds of a video, if that's okay. And then I believe do I need to mute myself, Chrissy? I'm okay. So.
From the first time I saw you, I knew you'd be mine. From the first glance you gave, my world had slowed, you stopped the time. And in that moment, I could see all of the things that we would be. You were the girl I was waiting for, that I would ask to marry me. Like the beauty of the sun, you light my life so I can see. You make me laugh and show me just how good this life can be. And in our moments filled with joy is where I live, where I am free. Stay in my arms, I'll hold you tight, just like you like, continually. And I am overwhelmed by you. Am overcome with joy. You've taken me higher and shown me what love can do. Where would I go?
Those are good memories.
Yeah, I was thinking, oh, I'll just stop at Shoreway, but I was like, oh, this is so beautiful. I'm going to keep playing this.
But you know, it's like childbirth. You know, it's so much work, but then you're so delighted later because that day on the Lake Jackson was where that wedding was, and the wind was whipping off the lake, and everything kept turning over, and it was hot on top of that. Plus, there were those little gnats,
Oh.
and you know, when I look back, I'm glad I can smile because I thought I was going to cry when I left that day.
Oh, no.
You know, it's like if this wind doesn't stop, the wind is worse than the rain, you know, because it just wrecks everything.
Yeah.
But you can see it was a little breezy, but it looks real sweet in the film.
Yes, they didn't even show any wind. It was great. The beauty of video and photography that just captures the best parts of the time, you know, of our memories. It was so beautiful. So you did all of that, right? And even I guess you could call it whatever. How would
The
you
ceiling
call it?
piece.
Yes.
Yeah, Ellie did the ceiling piece, and I think that's a great picture of it because it's really hard to get those in the photography and film. And Kylene and Ryan did that. They did a good job, and yeah, and then some of the other, that was kind of swaying in the ceiling. It was tied to the top of the tent, so it was okay. But the arrangements out that were up tall on the tables, they kept blowing over.
That's awesome. So with the shutdowns and everything, has everything managed to be okay with you? You know, just it's still kind of gradually been busy enough for you.
Well, I think I've kind of given myself to the end of the year to see. It's, you know, our expenses still come, and we have gotten Leon County Cares grant, and we got a little bit of PPP money on the federal programs. I'm trying to get a little bit more from the new Leon County Blueprint grant program. And because, you know, your rent's still due, utilities are still due, you know, insurance and all of that. So this thing can't end fast enough for me. But I think it's till I can kind of see how the quarter went, and, you know, we lost so much March, April, and May and June.
Yeah.
It boggles my mind.
And that's like the biggest wedding season, isn't it, really? Or
and now,
any event.
October, November, and December are very busy, but they're limited this year. So, you know, I'm used to being able to really make my year toward the end of the year, and that's not going to happen. So, we'll just, you know, I am like a lot of people in business, restaurants. And you just can't really tell, but you know that 25% of your business is not going to hold you. So that's, you know, a given. But, you know, you kind of go with it till you can get a foothold on something better.
So,
yeah. And also, I think it's really cool that the flowers that are left over from the wedding, if the guests don't take them, that you do still spread that love and the generosity after the fact. Tell me, how does it feel to work with flowers, and what's the feeling you get when you see that smile on someone's face and know that you made them smile?
Yeah.
I know it's easy to ask.
It's very gratifying, and I try not to let my mood rise and fall on that, because there is an occasional, you know, I'd say 99.9% of our clients love everything we do. And I'm always apprehensive. But I think the biggest joy is when the flowers come and we open the boxes, and just when you thought you were totally over flowers, you're all excited again. You know, it's like, wow, look at this, because the products are just beautiful. And it's amazing that nature and God grows those beautiful things. They're just so intricate. And we all of us that work here really get excited about the flowers.
What would you say is your favorite flower then?
Oh gosh. There's so many I love. I'm loving all the garden roses that are in style right now, and that they're really high petal counts. And some of the flowers that come in are more beautiful than others. You might have gotten some last week. It's like produce at the grocery store. It's not as gorgeous, and then the next week the colors are just surreal. But so I don't know. My favorites would change, every week. So I love all flowers.
Is it would you say that's the most seasonal or trending thing right now? The garden flowers?
Yeah, garden flowers, whites with sage greens and eucalyptus. That's just been extremely popular. It's fun to work with color, but the trend right now, everybody wants the ivories and whites with greenery. So, and it's funny because 10 years ago we were doing packed flowers with no greenery. And now everybody's wanting, I want mostly greenery. I want a lot of greenery.
So would you say, like, if somebody was interested and they're thinking ahead and planning, when they contact you, do you usually send them something? Like, we have that welcome packet we worked on, and we can show that. I have it pulled up if you'd like, and we'll just I'll quickly just share it with everybody if Chrissy can share my screen. So
people,
this is beautiful.
Yeah. And thanks to Julia, you did a beautiful job. I love it. And I do send this out with a little welcome.
Yeah.
And so people are able to see a little bit about us and understand a little bit about the money. Yeah. And then lately with the pandemic, we've been doing a whole lot online. Right. And so instead of meeting, which I don't really mind, because I can work at night at home on a proposal and that kind of thing. I don't have to be down here at the studio meeting people after work and that kind of thing. So it's been nice to be able to send them.
Kristen.
Oh, hey, Kristen.
Thanks for joining us, Kristen. So happy to see you.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be doing a big bridal show soon when people gather in masses again. So.
And those events are awesome.
So anybody that wants to reach out via the internet or telephone, then we just start a discussion through the internet and communicate back and forth with pictures and all of that. So it works out real well.
So it's really ideal if everybody just puts together almost like a collage of pictures and shoot it over to you and say, I would love to have some type of composition of a wedding theme that you can help us out with. But of course, you have a consultation session with them, right? Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
The list of needs, I ask people for that. I'll ask them for, the list of their wedding party, bridesmaids, flower girls, groom, all of that, grandparents, parents, and then where their venue is and what they think they're going to need there. And it can just be a dream, kind of a thought. A lot of people get a little uptight and nervous, like, well, I don't know what I need. I just don't know. But I say, well, let's just pretend it's next week and this is what might work for you, because you got to kick it off and kind of get an idea of what expenses you're looking at and then get into a category of budget. We work with all budgets, so very flexible on that. And but the bride needs to kind of understand where they want to be and what their priorities are. I tell them it's like building a house, and while you might want a real expensive faucet in your kitchen, top of the line. In your guest bathroom, you might buy a Home Depot brand or something because it looks okay and it won't get the wear and tear. So you have to decide, if you're doing peonies and orchids, then, flowers are definitely going to be your priority. And then if you're like, well, I just, I want it to be pretty and this is what I have to spend, I'll tell you what you can do. And it will be pretty. You don't have to have the most expensive to be the prettiest. So.
Oh, yeah. And you can pull it off and your team pulls it off really well. Yeah. And did you want to, I know we wanted to take a chance to like show a little bit of the shop right there and show what you have. They're working on a wedding right now, I'm guessing.
They are. And this is our front room. And we have shelves of things that you can use in the on your centerpieces and what have. And lots of
bigger.
See, okay, urns there. Lots of urns and columns and things.
Wow.
Blue and white china that's been popular. We have a lot of lanterns, and so a lot of people don't know that we have all this stuff. This is our workroom, and we're working on the bouquets for this weekend. And
awesome.
There's all buckets of flowers. Here's our, let me show them this party piece. This is a birthday party piece. That's
Ooh.
A little bit.
That looks fun.
Lots of really pretty flowers. Y'all can see on this.
Yeah.
And so coming into the warehouse, we have a lot of items that you can use. Candles, glassware, lanterns. We have to take the trash, so ignore that. With all the rain, that's hard to get done.
Yeah.
But, we had a client come by the other day to pay their bill, and she said, "Oh, my daughter's been buying all this stuff. I didn't know you had it." And I was like,
no.
Now the cooler just kicked off. Couldn't hardly hear very well. But let's see. I can show you in the cooler.
Cool. Nice.
It's about 38 degrees in here. And here's our flowers that we're working with. Here is a great big dahlia. Ooh, I don't know if you can see it.
Yes.
That came from the farm. And it's called the dinner plate dahlia.
Wow.
This is kind of hard. Okay.
You're doing an awesome job, Missy.
What?
You're doing a great job.
Okay. I try you. So that's the shop.
It's wow.
That's Nicole. She's working on some centerpieces.
Nice little wave there.
There's Polly. She's working on that centerpiece.
Nice. Awesome. I know it's tricky with the laptop there.
Yeah. Angle. So anyway, now we're back out in the front room again. So see, we've got stuff stacked everywhere. And so I'm going to turn it around now. Because I don't want to run over time. I think we're...
Yeah, no, this is good. Plenty. And I'm sure you got your hands full getting ready for the weekend. I wanted to thank you so much. Did you want to bring up anything else? We're going to feature all your links in the comments so that people can find you.
No, just, we're happy to do business and happy to help people find what they need to find for daily delivery and for events. So glad to have this opportunity. So thank you.
And thank you, Missy, for joining us today. And we really hope you get through this fall. It sounds like you'll still stay busy. And we're going to promote your page, of course, and put the link to your shop. So hopefully people can also order when they need to for any kind of gathering that they have. Because Missy is super talented, and you guys would be, and I really want to thank you too, just for your continual support. And also she even sends me little bouquets and surprises. She'll help my husband surprise me with like, you know, Mother's Day gift or a Valentine's Day gift. And if he doesn't do anything, but somehow he connects with her and she gets it done and surprises me with something very, very sweet.
Yeah, you'll probably do something shortly.
You'll have to remind him.
I will. Well, Chrissy, it was nice to meet you, and thank you, Julia, for all that you do.
Well, you know what? This was such a great way to introduce the beauty of your business. I actually, in high school, I worked in several floral shops. So this is like right up my alley. And I just love putting together the bouquets and everything. So certainly, I know that you love your job tremendously. I can feel that virtually.
Yeah, that's exciting.
And you know what? What are some ways people can support you? Maybe some things that are like out of the ordinary, maybe not necessarily a big event, but is there other ways people can support you?
Well, yeah, any of the daily deliveries or funeral deliveries, birthdays, hospital. One thing that I've tried to promote, and particularly for the senior citizens in town who their family has not been able to get with, to send them flowers. It's a wonderful, you know, I remember, you know, I can't see you, but I love you type of thing. And so we've taken several to Westminster, and, you know, they're closed up completely. You can't even hardly get in the driveway, and then they meet you and take it. And I can only imagine how those people feel not seeing their loved ones. So I think it could be wonderful for them to receive flowers. And so, yeah, just consider flowers for gifts. They're not fattening, you know. And flowers, I mean, if you research it, they do lift people's spirits. Scientifically, they've proven that. So that's kind of cool, you know, because there's a lot of depression right now with this thing going on.
That's right. Yeah. Not
being able to see your loved ones. And so, you know, I'd say buy flowers for all occasions.
Yes.
And what a good way to think creatively too about reaching out to new customers and maybe broadening your perspective as how you can cheer people up with flowers.
We tried Mother's Day, which we'd never done, and then we tried a Father's Day just because, you know, especially for fathers in nursing homes, you know, because you don't think about flowers for men. And we did a few, but we took Reese's pieces and boxes, and we put a little sign in there, and it said, "I love you to pieces," you know, and we put the Reese's coming out, and it was cute, but it wasn't a big seller, but
candy bouquets. Candy bouquets.
Yeah. Well, it just had the one box coming out, but I thought it was kind of cute. So we're continually trying to come up with things that might not normally be the normal thing that you would do. And men like to give flowers. When I took this, one of them, somebody bought that "I love you to pieces" for their husband who works at Southern Seafood, and he was so cute when I gave it to him, and all the guys were making fun of him, but he was very excited.
Well, I know that Julia just got off. She'll be right back in. But as far as things that are in the works for the holidays are coming up, there's Halloween. I'm sure there's some fun and creative flower designs you can do for that. Also Christmas as well too. And of course, Thanksgiving. So definitely a lot of things you can do to brighten up the house, make it smell fresh and clean and yeah, so very cool. And Julia, I do want to check in with you because we've got another live stream coming up here on October 5th.
Yes.
So could you tell people a little bit about that?
Yes, just really brief. I do have something in mind. I know that I have several guests lined up for the next few months. As far as the next one goes, I might just have something where it's more of a tips and tricks thing to help people with their marketing. So I will let you know. Just follow us on social and I'll keep you posted.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching today. JHC plus friends, get creative with us. And as always, please share this post, tag your friends, and buy some flowers. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.